Friends, welcome back to Love Wrestling. Spencer Love bringing you another great individual, someone I'm meeting for the very first time, but going through and doing research, it's pretty easy to tell who's good shit, as Canadians like to say, as well as a great professional wrestler. Shazza McKenzie joining me, not only, again, a great pro wrestler, a great individual, but a peer in the podcast game. It is great to chat with you, friend. How are you doing despite, obviously, the lockdown and all of the stuff that comes with that?
I'm doing much better after that intro where you said that I was good shit, because that Canadian. I love that. I was like, yeah, I am good shit. I like this.
If there's going to be a phrase coined, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's going on a t-shirt right now. I'm thinking of it in my head. I love it.
I'll co-sponsor them because that'd just be something I would 100% love to see on pro wrestling tees. Now, before we get into you, obviously we got to start with the quote unquote breaking news, the hot scoops, but something that was, again, just good shit. What did you think of Nick Gage and Chris Jericho?
Oh,
right?
It was great. Like, one of my friends, Jude the Dude London, he called me as it was starting because he was like, I just need to see you watching it. Like, he's like, I don't even care about like, he's just like, I just know, because we'd all watched on like a Discord the Matt Cardona Nick Gage match, and I was like yelling at everyone. I was like, you don't understand, Ricky Shane Page, he's gonna fucking work. You don't understand.
Everything's insane. Everything everywhere is weird.
Yeah, it's like, you don't understand. Like, this is so many things are happening right now. So everyone was like, wanted to see my reaction. It was just, it's just so cool to see Nick Gage up on like the main eventing on national. Like, what? Like,
I know, right?
Insane.
It's still like jarring in the best possible ways, especially like, you know, you tune into TNT. I didn't expect to see them go as far as they did, to say the least.
No, 100. When they got the tubes out, I was like, oh, okay, like they're gonna use like one tube, and then we'll be, like, they'll just use it for the like, look, guys, you got your tubes. No, but they did the glass, they did the piece cutter, they did the tubes. They were like, whoo! I was like, yeah, it was insane. Like, props to Jericho as well. Like, right, freaking, like, the amount of bumps that man has taken at his age to then do that is just like, he doesn't need to do that. There's no reason. Like,
guy's proven himself 15 times over at this point.
Yeah, we know you can wrestle. It's okay. Like, we know you're hard. Like, it's fine. You don't need to prove anything to us. We don't. But like, for him to go out, that as well is just insane. Like,
right. Talk about good shit. Talk about good Canadians. There's a great example of one. But of course, I want to chat about you because when you've got the opportunity to get a great pro wrestler, someone I've been a fan of since the days of Shimmer, I'm excited to chat with you, especially given that, like I said off the bat, you're starting to get into podcasting. You're starting to share a little bit more outside of just regular interviews and what you've been doing on that end. How have you enjoyed it? How has it been sort of on, you know, the mental end, or how has it been getting into that sort of thing while you've been in lockdown?
So the podcast, I started it, it was like April last year. So we were maybe like a month into like the pandemic. And I was like, I need something. Like, I just needed some sort of creative outlet that I could like just do and like just say what I wanted to say. And luckily I had a friend that is good with technical stuff, and because I am not good with technical stuff and do not know, like, after every podcast we'd record, I'd be like, how do I download it? Because I'd want to like put the video on like my Patreon so that they could see the video. And he'd be
you saw the fear in my eyes when I couldn't hear you before this started.
It's a lot. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he'd be like, okay, I'll download it and send you the link. It's okay. And I'm like, thank you. Because I'm hopeless. But yeah, it's just been it has been and is a very good, like, therapeutic, like, I guess I like talking about myself a lot because I'm, I don't know, a Leo and self-centered. So I just got to tell a lot of stories about me and like my life experience that I guess, you know, everyone sort of sees like the outside, like, yo, you go and you wrestle and you do this and you travel here. But it's like, there's so much that goes behind all that gets to get you to that point. And like, all the different like freaking like horrible things that have happened to me and all the good things that have happened to me. Like there's so many things, and like it was just a good way to express that, and you know, just also talk about wrestling and women's wrestling because I love women's wrestling. So I wanted to really put a focal point focus. I don't know what the words are.
We'll go with it
on women's wrestling as well, because I just think, especially at the time when I started it, there wasn't. Now there's quite a few more female voices in the podcast world, but at the time that I started, I think maybe Taylor Wilde was the only other female like wrestling podcast, and she'd only just started. So like since then, there's been a few more start, which is good because that's what I listen to. I just listen to female wrestling podcasts on repeat every day.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Well, and I love it because number one, you transitioned me over well to a couple of questions I wanted to ask, but I did want to touch on the fact that, you know, you are very open on it and you always have been on social media, but this especially, like, did you find that difficult? Did you find it hard to like not be cliche with it, but sort of expose yourself on that level?
It's very hard. It's very overwhelming because I've like over the years, especially as I not necessarily my popularity, but my following count has grown, and there's this distinct difference in what I can say now and what reaction I'll get to what I could have said 5 years ago and what reaction the online community will give me, because there's a lot more people have found me and a lot more people that are just out to, I don't know, attack people for whatever, and like that will just take like. There was one time the internet went on some like rant about me being a pedophile because my husband, who I've been with for 8 years, was 19 when we started dating. And I was like, guys, like,
this is a bit of an odd one.
He's young, yeah. Like, yes, he's younger than me. And I made a joke about him being 19 when we started dating. And then everyone was like, well, pedophile. And I was like, guys, I think you've really like gone through that. But thanks.
0 to 60 real quick.
Yeah. Like there's little things like that where like, you know, like I can't just make a joke about my husband being 19 when we started dating because someone will take it and switch it into, I don't know, some
ammunition or something along those lines.
Turn me into a criminal and then attack me forever for that. So yeah, like that's the hardest part about being open and honest, because people will take things, and even if as things that you're expressing and like stories that you're telling that are very hard for you to tell, but some people will take those stories and just find ways to use them to attack you and to bring you down and, you know, make you feel like crap. And it's part of the game, and it's everyone should just be a bit nicer. Let's go with that.
No, I completely agree with you. That's going to be one of the first sound bites I send from this interview, just because it's good goddamn advice. It also asks for Ella J, who sent in a fan question. How do you lift yourself up when you're having an off day?
Gosh, I don't even. I'm very bad at lifting myself up. Usually I have to just be in my feelings. If I'm in my feelings, I'm in my feelings, and I have to, you know, stay in bed, order a bunch of food, and wallow away in my feelings, because you can try and push through, but like if you don't just let yourself feel your feelings, they're still going to be there, and you're just going to be like, I don't know, like causing stress, I guess.
Like compartmentalizing.
Like you just push it down, and then one day it's just going to go, and you're not going to be able to do it. So you have to get through it, and like it's okay to be in your feelings. Like I think that's something I've really learned over this pandemic is like it's okay to be like, okay, like things kind of suck and like everything is not going how you imagined it, but feel this now, and then tomorrow get up, get on with life, move on, and you know, but like it's okay to feel your feelings. I think
Yeah,
that's such a big
when
thing.
things
It's
are
okay.
shitty, when things are
It's
shitty, it is
okay.
perfectly valid to feel shitty, right? But like,
Yeah.
I even love it. I came across a quote from you. You said, if I think about what could have been, I also don't know what can be in the future. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it ties over nicely. I also did say I wanted to chat with you about women's wrestling because, of course, if I've got you on the show, we're going to chat about women's wrestling. And I think as far as Australian women's wrestling, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but Madison Eagles seems to be like the pillar as far as it goes. So maybe take me a little bit through your experiences training with her and the Australian indie scene and her impact on it, to phrase a question poorly.
I think Madison Eagles is just so important to pretty much every female wrestler that has come through the Australian scene. I am so forever thankful and blessed to have her as not just a mentor, but as a friend and as someone that's been with me through this journey for how many years and like really watched me grow. And like, she was always like the mother hen of all of us. And like, as the years have gone on, I've noticed her like pass that mother henness down to me. And now I'm passing that mother henness down to like Charlie Evans and Jessica Troy. And it's just like this little like, you know, like thing that she's still around, but it's, you know, like we just, you know, you pass it all down. And I really enjoy that. But like just having someone that is so passionate about women's wrestling being taken seriously is so like, I can't even fathom what women's wrestling in Australia would be like if Madison hadn't existed. Because when I started training, I didn't start at PWA. I started at a different school, and there was a very much like I was there for a year, and it was very much, you know, like you just kind of need to learn how to like you know, slap and roll around and do a cat fight.
Is that the one that you had to take the test at? Because I was listening again. You had to do like a written frickin' test. That's insane.
I passed the test.
I'm trying like not to blow my mics, but like this ain't a golf clap. Well done.
I have a certificate on our wall in my house. We have a certificate, which is me passing wrestling school.
Hell yeah.
And then my husband's university degree. So kind of the same. same.
Well, frickin' done. Sorry to interrupt. That was one of the greatest stories I've heard in a while.
But yeah, so there was like, it wasn't that they didn't, you know, like want me to be good. It was just that that's in 2007, 2008, that's not how women's wrestling was perceived. So if they were putting on a show, that's like the women were there as a special attraction and figure it out from there. And through that, so like luckily PWA school was literally like 20 minutes, not even. At one point it was like across the road from this other school. I don't know how both the two wrestling schools in all of Sydney ended up in the same
There were only
street.
two venues available, guys.
But so luckily it was quite a smooth transition from that company through to PWA, and I've been at PWA since like January 2009. And under Madison's like guidance since then. And it took a while. It always takes Madison a while to like warm up to the new girls, especially because she's seen so many girls come and go, and tell her that they're there for the right reasons, that they're not, and all that sort of stuff. So she's very standoffish in that sense. But like once you get past that and you like, it's very obvious that you want to be a wrestler and you're trying your hardest, she will put everything that she can into making sure that you're as successful as you can be. And it's just, like, I don't even know what I'd do with that. Like, I just don't know what would I have been without her? I don't know, like nothing. I just would have existed in the world and probably would have quit after like 3 years or something and gone on. And I don't even know. But like without her being like, women's wrestling is important and like a focal point, I don't know what I would have done.
Absolutely. And it's so nice to hear, because as an outsider, you can look at it and say, okay, Cassie's successful, you're successful, Jessica and Tennille, and you see all of the names making their way through the world. But it's so great to hear on your end that the experience is as positive as it's been for fans, right? What was the biggest impact that she had on you, whether it be personally or professionally?
Oh my gosh. So she just like, every time, like whenever I've traveled overseas, I like a lot of the times I've traveled with her, and like a lot of the times I have no idea what I'm doing, and like she's just protected. There's been times where like we've had matches and the promoters have gone to like yell at me for something, and then she's been like, no, like she like Shaz didn't do anything wrong, it was that girl. Like whereas like I would just have been like, yes, I did everything wrong, I'm sorry. Like where she's been like, no, you are not yelling at Shaz. Shaz did everything right. She did what she was asked to do. That girl, she messed it up. Like
her fault.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would have just been like, yes, I did everything wrong. I'm sorry. Like, I'll try better. My bad. And she'd be like, no, protect. But yeah, just everything she's done. Like, she was a bridesmaid in my wedding. Like, she's just,
oh, cool.
She's done so much for me as a person and as a wrestler. And like, I'm just so thankful to have her in every way, in every aspect of my life.
You mentioned sort of taking on that mother hen role and sort of sliding into that. What's it mean to you that now that, you know, Charlie Evans, you mentioned specifically earlier, what's it mean to you that people like that are now mentioning you in that sort of same light?
Oh, it's wild. It's because like I still feel like I have days where I'm like, oh, I just don't know anything. I don't know how to wrestle. Like, I'm just learning. Like, and I still feel like I'm, you know, a year in, and then someone will be like, no, Shaz, like you know what you're doing. Like, you've done some stuff, and then I'll have like these moments of like confidence. Like, yeah, I do know what's happening. And I think like it's. I go through these like phases with it, whereas like I feel very protective of the girls that are below me, and I want to make sure that they have like the best experience that they can in the wrestling industry, because I know that what Madison experienced before me was a lot worse than what I experienced, and then I know that, you know, there's still things that Charlie Evans and Jessica Troy have had to experience, but I want to make sure that like the next generation, like I just don't want them to have to experience anything like misogynistic or any crap like that. So I just, you know, trying to protect them. It's just it's a very strange feeling. Like, I love it, but I'm also like, it's like an out of body, it's imposter syndrome or something. It's like, I can do it, but like, I'm also like, I'm nobody. Please don't listen to me. I'm sorry. But you also have to listen to me because I'm very serious. Like, it's very like, it's a struggle.
I completely get it. I 100% get it. I have to touch on, you brought up a brief story about a WrestleMania experience with Dakota Kai and Madison and Jessica McKay. Tell the world about it as I try and correct myself.
So in 2013, it was like WrestleMania week, what it is now, was not what WrestleMania week was in 2013. To my understanding from all my like trying to figure this out, I think 2013 was like the first time that there was like indie shows. So there was WrestleCon, there was just WrestleCon. There wasn't 50 different venues. It was just WrestleCon. But it was the first time that they'd done like, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the show. So Madison, Jess, Dakota Kai, and myself were over for Shimmer was doing a show on the like Saturday at WrestleCon, which now I think back and think that's just so insane that I got to wrestle on like the first WrestleCon of this like stature. Thinking of how WrestleMania weekend has now like evolved into this just event that
monstrosity.
Like that every independent wrestler has to be at. And like, I was one of the very few wrestlers that got to wrestle on that first WrestleMania weekend. Cool. Like, that's crazy. And then we went to, so we like, you know, I'd already been to WrestleMania in like 2008 with my mum. My mum had taken me to WrestleMania. But for a lot of them, like, they'd never been to WrestleMania. So we went to WrestleMania, and it was in MetLife, I think. MetLife, I don't know if that's right. I don't know. I'm saying it was.
Trust me, you're probably better informed than I am.
New York, New Jersey. Point of the story is it's in the same. It was in the same stadium that then in 2019, when I was back over for WrestleMania weekend, I went to WrestleMania and I watched the person that I'd sat next to in 6 years earlier in the crowd sung Mark Henry's theme song with, like, and wearing $5. We were wearing these $5 like Walmart wet coat things because none of us had prepared to be outside in the cold rain because we're Australian and we just didn't think about that. And like, I was watching Jessie McKay now in the ring winning the tag team titles with Peyton Royce like 6 years later. It's just insane to like in the same building. Like it couldn't have been more perfect. Like I lost my absolute shit. Like I was gone. I collapsed to the ground and was crying, and my husband had to be like, Shaz, like you're being a bit dramatic. And I'm like, I know, but they did it. They actually did it. And he's like,
no,
yes,
I'm not.
Yeah, he's like, I know, I'm very happy for them too. Like, it's very exciting. But you're embarrassing me.
I know, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stop.
I'm just very excited.
Then obviously it's got to be so cool for you. Not that she hasn't done great stuff before, but Wednesday night seeing Dakota Kai take the boot to Raquel Gonzalez. Maybe some thoughts, some feelings, some strong words on that.
I think it's long overdue. They've been clearly building to this for a while, and we've all been kind of like waiting for them to like just pull the trigger and let it happen. But I hope it ends with the champion that we deserve. Not that we don't deserve Raquel, but you know, I think the women's wrestling fans and the NXT fans that have been following the product for long enough feel like it's Dakota Kai's time. Like they feel very ready for this moment and for her to get her flowers and to be in that main position after being a background character and like a supporting cast character for the last few years. And it's time for her to play the main role. And I hope that that's what we get. And even if we don't, I'll still be happy. But I mean, I'll probably be bitchy on the internet, but like, whatever. Who isn't? Who isn't bitchy on the internet? What else?
Even despite the dastardly deed and the boot to the face, she's someone everybody loves. I think you speak for a lot of people on that end of things. Now, of course, I like closing these out with people's goals in the near future, but with Australia in a bit of a lockdown, I of course want to ask on that end, but I thought it'd be fun to play some indie wrestling superlatives to close out today's show. So, first and foremost, do you have any goals in the future that you would like to touch on anywhere you want to work, anywhere you want to work someone specific, anything in between on that end?
My goal is just to get back to America. Like it doesn't matter how, I'm not particular how, I don't care. Like I want to be able to be in America and wrestle on either the American independent scene or ideally on a television show. That'd be fantastic. But you know, I also know that that's a 1 in a million thing. But just to be able to go there, and because I feel like before this pandemic was happening, I was really like just there. And now that I've had like 18 months to think about being just there, like I'm like ready. So that's my main goal. The two women that I want to wrestle the absolute most is Serena Deeb and Deonna Purrazzo. I just think they're both phenomenal wrestlers, and like the last time I was in America, the idea of wrestling them just wasn't a possibility because one was a coach and one was in NXT, and now there's just I was like, those were the two free agents when they became free agents, and I was like, oh my god, like
it's
this
mind blowing.
Like this, I can. There's like the slightest possibility someone will let me wrestle these two. That's crazy. So those are my two like dream matches.
If there's any way that I can make it happen, despite the limited scope that I've got in the grand scheme of things, trust me, hop in the DMs, send me a smoke signal. However I can make it happen, I can promise you I will make every effort I can. But as I mentioned, let's close it out with some indie wrestling superlatives as quick as you can, not too much thought in them, starting with best dressed on the independent wrestling scene.
Oh, crap. This is hard. Why would you best dressed on the independent? Oh, my goodness.
I'll let you give a couple of options. You don't need to just give one because I'm putting you on the spot.
No. Charlie Evans. Charlie Evans is always best dressed.
Good shout.
She always has the best fits.
Best singer.
Ooh, me. I'm fantastic. I'm not. I'm horrible. But as a kid, I was like in the Australian National Choir.
Cool. I think that's credentials.
Like I wanted to be a singer until I discovered wrestling, and then
I'll take it.
I just forgot to sing.
I'm not going to ask you to sing. I'll take Shazza McKenzie as your answer.
We'll take it.
All right, sounds good. That's the one I'm going to send out to the dirt sheets. By the way, that's the Shazza McKenzie shoots hard. I sing better than anyone. Cutest couple.
Cute. Oh, Connor and Charlie.
Okay, I'll take that one too.
Come on, she sent me like a cute photo of them. Oh, it's all in my head now. It's all I see now. That's my life.
I'll take that. It's a very positive thing. Love's a great thing. I'll have that be the thing that takes over your mind on that end. Best and worst drinker.
Oh my God.
And remember, it's all in good humor.
Yes. Gosh, who's a bad drinker? Oh my goodness. I think Sue Young is the best and worst drinker because she's
all right. Wild. That's a great answer.
Yeah, I love being around her when she's drunk, but she's also wild and you cannot control her.
I can guarantee I will be asking for stories if I'm ever lucky enough to have her on the show. Best hair.
Ooh, best hair. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Why is my brain not working? On the independent scene, best hair. Oh my God, my brain is just not working today.
Like it's because there's a lot of options now.
There's a lot of hair. There's a lot of people with hair. A lot of them. A lot have hair. And then like I go to say someone, I'm like, well, wait, no, they're signed. So then we're doing independent. So on independent, Oh no. Oh, Miranda Ali, I can never say her name right because I know
Elise,
it's like the drink.
I believe it's pronounced.
Elise, and I just don't know the drink. Everyone
Trust me, if I butchered that too, I'm happy to correct myself.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's like the drink. And I'm like, I don't know this drink. So I can't, that's not helping me. It's not assisting me in the pronunciation.
I appreciate the help, but it is not help.
Her hair in like the Ring of Honor, like clips that they've been like showing.
Oh, yeah.
I've been like, whoo. Oh, and Alex Garcia, her hair, like, because pink. Duh. Why did I not? Pink Dream, duh. I love pink.
Great shouts. Most likely to win at Jeopardy.
Oh. I feel like Alison Kay would win Jeopardy. I feel like she knows a lot.
She feels like she'd be like a super smart individual. Obviously, I've really only got like interviews and Twitter to go off of, but I feel like that's enough most of the time.
She seems quite smart, yeah.
I agree.
Definitely not me, but definitely her.
I'll see you in the same boat. We've got jackets in the club because I ain't anywhere near winning Jeopardy. And as a site that likes to push the bright side of professional wrestling, the most positive person on the independent professional wrestling scene.
Oh my goodness. Gosh, there's lots of people. So like, I feel like there's a lot of positivity at the moment and like a lot of just happiness and gosh, I don't know who's the most positive. Everyone's positive. Everyone's happy. Oh my God.
I'll take that as an answer because it's one that I really like if you want to go with that. Yeah, I'll take everyone. We'll end this on a great note. Yeah.
I feel like everyone's been very positive lately.
Excellent.
Lately. They have their moments, but lately we're in a good vibe.
And we'll continue that one on hopefully until the next time I have you on the show when you're up here in Canada, in Edmonton, on the next TV taping for, of course, the promotion of your choice as an honorary Canadian. You're good shit. I feel like that's enough qualification, Shazza. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. I can't wait to do it again. And if people want to follow you in the interim, how can they do so?
So Twitter and Instagram are at Shazza_McKenzie. You can search me on Facebook, I guess, because that's how Facebook works. The best way to support me is through my Patreon. So patreon.com/Shazza McKenzie. I just post lots of like exclusive content and photo shoots, and I do live streams and a bunch of random stuff there. I don't know. I just hope it entertains people. It seems to.
I can vouch for that, friends. If you want to support, please feel encouraged to do so. All of those links will be in the bottom of this video, wherever you may be watching, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. It is appreciated. Thank you for supporting not only Love Wrestling, but of course, Shazza McKenzie, however you choose to do so following this interview. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest that we got going on, it ain't just me on the site, though I like to vouch for my guests and I like to vouch for a fun time here on the interviews. We've got lots of great contributors here on Love Wrestling. So wherever videos are played, audio is listened to, or articles are written, follow us at Love Wrestling CA. It is appreciated as all hell. Just as Shazza, it was appreciated as all hell that you took the time for me today. Thanks once again, friend. I can't wait for the next one.